Stop building your place details screens from scratch. It's time-consuming and complex, and I'm going to show you how to drop in a production-ready UI with photos, reviews, and more using the Places UI kit for Android. We'll even integrate it into a modern Jetpack Compose app, and stick around for a bonus look at using Places UI kit with 3D maps. Earlier this year, we released the Places UI kit. It's a set of pre-built UI components that lets you display rich place details in your app, saving you from building these screens from scratch. If you're new to Places UI kit and want a broad overview of its features, take a look at the deep dive video in the description below. It's a great way to learn more about the Places UI kit, but in this video, we're going to jump right into the code. Okay, let's see the high-level steps that we'll follow to add Places UI kit components to our Android app. First, we'll add the Places SDK to our build dependencies. Next, we'll add code to initialize the Places SDK with our API key. Then, we'll add a place details fragment or place details compact fragment to our UI. And finally, we'll add an event listener to observe loading events. Let's break it down. You first need to add the necessary dependencies in your app level Gradle file. Note that the Google Maps SDK is optional. You can use any map provider or none at all, but we're using it for our demo today. We also strongly recommend using the Secrets Gradle plugin to securely manage your API keys. See the links in the description for additional information and reasons to use it. Before using any Places API features, you must first initialize the SDK. The best place to do this is in your application class, but you can also do this in your main activity if that makes more sense for your application. Keep in mind that you will need to use the new Places API to utilize the Places UI kit components. The place details fragment is the core of the Places UI kit. You can dynamically add it to your layout and control the content it displays. You can choose from all available information, or just limit it to the specific fields such as opening hours, reviews, or photos. And if your app requires a smaller UI footprint, use the Place Details Compact fragment. Its implementation is similar and is ideal for a smaller, bottom sheet style UI. Once the fragment has been added to your UI, you need to call either load with place ID or load with coordinates to specify the place you want your app to display. And here's an important pro tip. Using view.post ensures the fragment's view is fully created before loading data, preventing crashes. To handle success or fail events, you can optionally attach a place load listener before loading place data. And that, in a nutshell, is how to use the Places UI kit components in an Android app with views and fragments. But what if you need to use the Places UI kit components in a modern app using Jetpack Compose? This is where we put the Android view composable to work. Both Place Details Compact Fragment and Place Details Fragment are, of course, fragments. Therefore, we need to wrap the chosen fragment in a fragment container view and manage it via the Fragment Manager. Let's build this wrapper step by step. We start with the outer composable. We'll keep it simple by passing in a place instance and the list of details we want to show. Because the details fragment needs to know how to lay itself out, we grab the current device orientation from the local configuration composition local. We also need the fragment manager, which we get from the context. In our implementation, we create the place details compact fragment in a remember block. The fragment will be recreated as needed or reused if it already exists. We key our remember block with the layout and container variables, ensuring our fragment will be recreated if any of those change. Now that we have our fragment, we need to add it to the composition tree. We do this using a fragment container view, which we create in the factory block of an Android view. And finally, in the update block, we use the view.post call to set either the place's ID or the location. And there you have it. You now have a ready-made place details component integrated into our Android Jetpack Compose app. It's your choice whether the full or compact version is a better fit for your app. The code around it is the same either way. The sample app presents two different composables, making it straightforward to switch between the formats. Okay, and as promised, here's that bonus I mentioned. We couldn't resist showing off 3D maps with Places UI kit together. I won't go into detail, but I invite you to take a look at the Places UI kit 3D project in the Places sample repo. And that's it. You now have a production-ready Place Details UI component in your app with just a few lines of code. Dig into the full code in the Place Details UI kit and Place Details Compose directories of the Android Places demos repo. Check the full description for a full set of links. And if you have any questions at all, head over to our Google Maps Platform Discord server, post a question there, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for joining and happy mapping.